fam. Thank you for connecting with the Sirius Cipher yet again. It's been an eventful week. And I'm here to tell you, I didn't even get a chance to check out the astrology that's going on out here because we already know about that whole 1111 portal, right? But we had that eclipse that happened last week, and it just seems like the energy, it's been going down, at least for me. And in my experience, it certainly has been. I'm looking at okay, we still in Scorpio season and we wrapping that up. And right now we at the last quarter moon, that's in Leo. We got Venus in Sagittarius. We got Mercury in Sagittarius. So that's what we at right about now. And so, a lot of truths is showing up out here in these streets. I want to give a quick shout out on the cipher. We got Aquarius Moon in the house. What's up? What's up?
Hey, how are you?
Hey, it's all good. Well, it could be better.
Yes, ma'am. It can always be better.
Absolutely, without a doubt.
Ascension.
Shit, you know what I'm saying? Like nobody's business. It's like I'm getting the accelerated course.
Yeah. yes. It said take notes because you might forget.
Oh my goodness, man. I got to tell you, So I wanted to just check in real quick to see if anybody got any channels, any dreams, any downloads that might have went down right about now, because this right here is a special time.
Yeah, I really did have. I had a few dreams this week, but me being me, rushing and not taking my time, I didn't write them down. But one in particular, it was just so weird because it was me and my sister, and when me and her is both riding in the car, but for some reason she's in the back seat and I'm like driving her around. Like it was just weird like that because that's not how we do. But we ended up getting into a wreck. You know what I'm saying? The car done flipped over and everything, right? But we weren't hurt. You know what I'm saying? We both got up, walked away, no problems. Only thing that was messed up was the car that we were in. So it was just weird. And that dream stuck with me. So I had to figure out what that meant for me. So yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah,
So
it's been a time. Brother Dante's in the house. What's going on, brother? What's going on? He's still on mute.
Yeah, what's going on?
What's going on, brother? Good to see you in the house today. We was just talking about like this energy and everything, and if you got any downloads or any dreams that might be significant that you might want to share.
I mean, what kind? That's a big topic.
I know it is. It's a broad topic, but for today we are dealing with that whole energy of judgment, right? And so the judgment card in tarot is all about reflection, rebirth, is tapping into our inner calling and really awakening to what our purposes is, absolution. But then on the other side, it could be about self-doubt and missing the call and feeling kind of down and in a different vibration. And so with all of this energy, we had the eclipse, we had the 1111 portal that's still a little open, at least it feels that way to me. And you know what I'm saying? And so right now, I noticed for me, my dreams have been off the hook.
Yeah. My audio, I don't know if you could hear me. My audio is off. So I'm trying to make it come back on because I can't hear nothing. It just muted itself.
Oh.
It's not unmuted. Oh, now I hear you.
Okay.
Whatever that was.
Right. Well,
but I heard you. I got cut off when you said judgment and coming into your purpose and stuff like that, and not necessarily any dreams that I could connect to that as of recently. But yeah, the death and rebirth, I just say that's real. I don't know. That's all I could really say. The shit's real. It's real. And it's very challenging to logic. Like, and I know that for sure. Like, logic has nothing to do with, like, it's one, people say it, all the time, like it's not logical and use your creativity and this and that. it's hard to not use logic, especially if you know got some trauma mixed in, and it's like, no, that don't make sense. That don't make sense. I'm
Yeah, you just went into mute, but that's all good because it seemed like this is an on-time discussion.
Yeah.
And I was rapping with Aquarius Moon a little earlier, and it's been going down in my family, man, like in a big way. And this is definitely a time for reflection, for me to really start.
yeah. Hello.
Yeah. Can you hear
You
me?
good?
Yeah, I got
Oh,
you. Yeah.
oh. Somebody just came in on a call. It's resistance, I guess. I don't know. You
Nah,
know, this shit real, but
it is.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely. And that's the main thing we was just talking about, like all of the shit that was going down. So for me, it was crazy because I had to bring my little dream book with me, right? I
Mhm.
had this crazy dream about this dude that showed up at my house with two little girls. And he was a very nice looking brother. You know what I'm saying? Real, you know what I'm saying? Real smooth type, you know what I'm saying? One of those type
Oh,
of
sucky, sucky. Okay, okay.
that say right, that say all of the right things, right? He had these piercing blue eyes. And even though he was saying all of the right things, the energy was not in alignment. And so he was there. My husband was there in the dream. So it wasn't that type of trip. You know what I'm saying?
No, I heard you. I
It,
heard you.
it was like it was a groovy dude that was very impressive. And you know, you know what I'm saying? Like, if my husband wouldn't have been there, you know what I'm saying? Perhaps I would have gave him a different look, you know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Keeping it a buck, you know what I'm saying? However, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't that type of party, but he was saying all of the right thing. He was very charming, very debonair, but those piercing blue eyes, um, and what he was saying and the energy that I was picking up was like this was a real slick type of dude. So then I'm like, what is this all about? And so then I'm getting some reflection and everything. And those blue eyes is all about being able to see deeper truths. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And really being able to look past the surface of what's being said. And
Right.
then all of a sudden, you know, I'm feeling all of this crazy energy. And I was talking about like last week about how I was feeling this down type of energy, and I was trying to pull myself up out of it. And I was feeling like extra melancholy. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna get the hell on up and everything. Me and my husband, we hit the trails, get out there in nature and shit. And I'm talking about family members, and I get a phone call that we had some major drama and tragedy within our family. And it was our tower moment within our family where some tragedy went down like we saw it coming. And there's such a disconnect in our family to where it was a wake-up call letting us know that it is time for us to do better within for me. And when I was saying us, like me and my husband, me and my family, for us to do better, to connect better, to show up better. But then there was this dilemma that shows up because even though you want to do better, the reality is that a possibility? Because in my family, we got history of dysfunctions, addictions, madness, violence, poverty.
Sounds typical.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, but I feel like, yeah, you can do your best, and that's all you can do. So better, everybody can do better. I feel like in any situation can become better. It might not be perfect, but paying attention to whatever it is the subject is or the issue is, anything with any family can be turned around. But some people, you know, it's not like you can make somebody who's an addict not be an addict, but you can make it better by not giving them money or giving them a little talk here and there when the spirit moves you to do it. So I feel like, yeah, everything can be better. Like, there's no choice but to do your best in everything. And I'm coming to that realization too. Like, why do anything halfway? Like, commit or don't do it. Like, for what? Like, let me do this a little bit. No, that's to be safe. Go all in, and whatever you can change or do something about, you do. And whatever else doesn't, you do something else. You know what I'm saying? Until the scales tip the other way. And then go back and revisit if you feel moved by spirit. And it's really, I feel like, about taking your ego out of it. Because that's the hardest part, taking the logic out of it and not making everything personal. Like, if you can't change somebody with some words, like, you failed. Like, it's not like you failed, they just weren't open at that time. So don't hold on to that and let it go and try again. It's kind of a difficult mind state to keep with you. Like, when you always being logical, because I'm a logical motherfucker, like, really very shit that don't make sense though. And I'm also very creative though. So musically, certain sounds, or when someone sings out of key with music, there's a little bit of logic, I don't know if that's the right word, that lets you know she's singing out of key. Something is telling you that, and I feel like it's between logic and, like, the middle of the brain, like the both at the same time. Like, if music is just pure random notes without any logic, it's just noise. And if it's too much logic, it's like square and like plain, and it doesn't have any life in it. So yeah, I don't even know where I was going with that, but yeah, I did a Bobby Hemmett.
You know what?
I don't know where that came from.
You had me on the spin, because you know what? It's really funny that you say that, because I got a tip about really connecting with music and really connecting with creativity. It shifts the frequency. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it takes the frequency up, and it makes you use both sides of your brain. You can't just be logic. You can't say, you know, every time the song starts, or every time I do this, like evolving logic, logic that evolves. Like, things aren't stagnant. So there's logic, but the logic evolves through creativity, while you the whole time are staying present in the moment, because you got to be present to know, well, I'm gonna play this note here, or I'm gonna sing that note there. So being present, and it's like most of the work, really, if you ask me, just being fully present. Even if you daydream and visualize, you could be present in that, and just don't ever. I feel like, why not? Like, I don't know. I'm just.
Yeah,
he got me feeling like
I'm
a
getting a
spiral.
lot of stuff coming like in my head. I don't even know where to go.
You got me feeling like a spiral. You know how the information just comes, and as it elevates, it just spirals up, and you add more and add more and add more. You know, that's the feeling that I'm getting from what he's trying to say as far as logic and creation. Like, it's ever present, and it's ever moving, and it's fluid. So
yeah, and to stay present, because two square would be like, if, like, like a beat that's boom tap boom tap boom tap, that would be logically, that's music. Yes, logically. But if you're not boom tap tap tap, when you start playing with it, my mind just went somewhere else when I said that. When you start playing with it, though, it changes. Like, you got to improvise. Like, you can't. Well, what I was about to relate it to is like intercourse.
Yeah.
So logically, you're having sex if you if a penis meets a vagina. Logically, yes, you did it. But if you're not creative, you stagnant. It's boring. If you're not present, it's just not what it is. You know what I'm saying? You have to be present. Oh, I felt this way when I did this, or I felt that way when I did that. Improvising, because you're staying present, not just thinking about whatever or focusing on. I'm sorry, I keep getting more and more. It's like things start hitting you in the head at the same time, like, golly. But yeah, I think I made my my little point of what I was trying to
You
say.
absolutely did, and it was helpful in an impactful way, for real, because this is one of the avenues for us to raise our frequency and raising our vibration, not only by being present, but tapping into that creative sort. Because when we raise our frequency, we put ourselves in a space where we start to attract more high vibration experiences. What's up, Divine Priestess in the house? How's it going there, lady? I don't think she hear me.
She on mute. She on
Oh
mute.
no, I was trying to take myself off mute. How y'all doing?
We are good. We are
Okay, what's up?
good.
What's up?
We are
I
checking
miss
in.
y'all.
Hey, have you been getting any? We're talking about the Judgment card
Mm,
in in the tarot. And generally speaking, it's a positive card. It symbolizes regeneration, rebirth, wholeness after a period of confusion. Hold up. In this book, it says this is called the wake up card. Gaining self-awareness, judging your actions, choices, and life situation, and determining what you want to keep and what you want to toss to the scrap pile. This is a time of coming clean to yourself, assessing the good, the bad, and the ugly so that you can chart your course from here on with greater clarity and maturity.
man, that sounds like my
And how
life
you love that?
last couple weeks. That's it right there. That makes sense to me. You
Yeah,
know, taking a little time to get laid down. Because
yeah,
sometimes we don't listen when we supposed to. You know,
yeah.
but I think that judgment card is directly on point for where we are energetically, and I'm just speaking for our country. And the reason why I say that is because usually when we start right after Halloween, everybody goes into a thankful mode. It's always this reflection time, you know?
Mm,
And so for me, even though I attempt to reflect daily, weekly, monthly, as a collective, it seems like that judgment card is so on point. You have people, reevaluating how they treating people. Are they gonna keep people around? You have business owners saying, what can I keep? What can I take away? What is the best offer? You know what I mean? So collectively we are all in a judgment period right now.
mm.
Um, so I think that card is slam on point, like seriously.
Shit, like in such a powerful way. And like I said, I want to be a little candid, because at first, like, tragedy hit my family in such a impactful way. It gave me a moment of pause and reflection. I don't know if any of you guys seen this movie called The Joker. I refer to this movie over and over again, because this movie gives us a classic example of how people that are barely holding on mentally, that are struggling, and they're looking for some light in this world. And when this world shows them nothing but darkness, rejection, and they're not feeling that they're getting enough love and support in this world, how it turns people into monsters. And I would always talk about how we need to be careful with how we handle folks in this world. And I made that connection, but it didn't really hit home. Just recently, we had a tragedy within our family where one of my family members murdered somebody the other day, and another family member. And for us to get into
Wow.
this place where there's such a
Okay.
disconnect, y'all, a tragedy. And I'm going to tell you, like, this hit me so close in my heart, because these are family members that I really want to be there for. I really
Mm,
want to support. But like I talked about this priestess in the priestesshood, about how I got family members that I want to be around, I want to support, but they're so unfortunate. They go
mhm,
through so many changes that I just don't want to be the fuck around. You know what
mhm,
I'm saying?
mhm.
But me being a spiritual being, a priestess, and I have a better insight on how folks get down. Besides the fact that, I spun a lot in the mundane world, the studies, the work that I've done in the world has been more about human behavior in our social environment. But just having this understanding and me not wanting to connect to that, it made me feel somewhat guilty. So then I show up and I get the same type of energy, the resentment, the standoffish, the you know what I'm saying, that I'm not really feeling appreciated, I'm not feeling received, and it makes you not want to be bothered like that. And it makes
Well, I'm hold on, let me stop
me,
you
yeah,
right there. This
please.
this is what came to me when you said guilt and resentment.
Mm,
Everyone is not free to be themselves. What you are getting from those around you is not really you, like for you. Like when you say guilt and resentment, that's not what they're displaying towards you. That's what you're getting because of how divine you are. They are mad at themselves because let's just say Joe want to be a musician, right?
mm,
But Joe's father said, "You gonna come over here and work in this factory." Joe is carrying guilt and resentment for what he is unable to do. And that shows up to you. Not that they're aiming it at you, but you are seeing people on a soul level.
mhm,
So you're seeing the guilt and resentment. It's just not towards you. It's because, man, I really just want to be a musician. And now I got to work in this damn factory every day.
right,
It's not towards you. You get what I'm saying? And then you have Joe's daddy. We're gonna call him Joe Senior. Joe Senior is like, all I know is work, work, work because that's all they taught me. And I tell my son this all the time. I said, son, I need you to be patient with me because parents are always at a disadvantage. We are preparing y'all for a world we have no idea is happening.
right.
You know what I mean? So it's
Absolutely.
like Joe Senior is doing the best that he know how to do, but he don't see that Joe's path, Joe Junior path, ain't got nothing to do with this factory.
Right.
And so that guilt and resentment is because Joe Junior can't speak up, especially in our community. How dare you tell your parents something? But I feel like I want to be a yoga instructor.
Right.
And this happened in my family for real. I want to be a yoga instructor. No, you gonna take your ass to school and you gonna finish this. And it was like, dog, why you why you doing that?
Right.
Like you wasting your money and you wasting her time. Just send her to the yoga school. No, because I've been waiting all my life for this. Hold it. But this not your life.
Mm,
And see, you as Priestess Acacia are seeing the guilt and resentment that's being held towards Joe Senior
right. Right.
because that's who you are. You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? You
Absolutely.
not seeing, them. You're not seeing Joe at the family cookout just trying to make the best of it. That's not how fortunate you are. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? It's a blessing and a curse to be like this. Because
Abs-
sometimes I be seeing, people be talking to me and I be like, dang, do
mm,
I tell them I know what they really saying? Like I know what they soul saying.
right. Right. And let
You
me
know?
tell you something. And for real, see, and the reason why I make this reference, I think so many times to this Joker movie, because the pathology that we have in our family is that we're not really as supportive as we should be of each other.
Say
And
it.
what has happened is we had a family member in crisis that was not being supported. And this
Mhm.
is what it turned into.
Wow.
And my thing is that we get stuck in between a rock and a hard place. because we have someone who's creating so much chaos and so much mayhem in the family. It makes you not want to come around. It makes you not want to connect, but you love them. But should you lay on the sword in order to assist them? And so you get into this space of a catch-22. But when we get where we get looking deeper, especially with some of the pathologies in my family, to be completely candid, like it's almost as if there's pleasure derived from seeing each other suffer if we feel as if they have wronged us on some level. So I don't like the slick ass way you talking to me, so you can sleep in the street. You can sleep. Oh, I ain't feeding you. And we got to cut that type of shit out, you know. And this was part of the reason where my issue, my conflict was with many individuals in my family is this type of disconnect, this type of negative, I call it a demonic energy, where we can't just be available to support. I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying lay on the sword, fix people's life, take responsibility, but being available to show people that at the end of the day, you give a fuck about them. Being available to people to know that if they can't do nothing else, they got something to eat. And the fact that we don't have this connection, there's a disconnect, shows that I got work cut out for my family, but I'm not really even sure about how to go about navigating that, because that's where the pathology is. And when you try to assist, it's not received. And where do we go from there?
So, me personally, hearing everything you said, y'all have some major, I don't know if I want to say soul ties, but y'all definitely have some, what's the word I want to use? Goodness, it's escaping me the word I want to use. It's kind of like a bondage situation. Like it's almost like, okay, have you ever read the Willie Lynch letter?
Yes.
Okay, so in the book, it says if you break the nigga bitch, she'll give you her children. It seems like, yeah, you see what I'm saying? All you got to do is break the mother. Y'all got to go back, and I'm saying y'all because it's only gonna be maybe 3 people willing to do this soul level type of work.
Right.
But y'all gotta go back through y'all ancestral line and pay homage and ask them to fix it.
Right.
This blood work.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Because when you said you had a relative take the life of another relative, I was like, that's not the first time this has happened.
No.
You know, and I don't know that. I mean, you know, I don't know your family at all.
Right.
So
no. This is the first time this happened in my family. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's very unfortunate that this is,
you know,
right.
Hear me out. This is what I'm saying. You got to go back because this is ancestral. This ain't just Joe and Kurt didn't had it out. This is ancestral. You got to fix this in the lineage. You know what I'm saying? And it's not necessarily dying on your sword. It's kind of like it's just doing a different type of work. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not putting that responsibility on you in no means. By no means am I saying that. But I'm just saying this is the type of work it's going to take. It's going to take soul work. This ain't no get on the Zoom and we going to have a conversation. Nah, because it's too much pain here. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's
Absolutely.
too much blood being shed. It's too
Right.
much hurt.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So it's like it's just soul work. But the question for me is how do you know where to start that soul work?
Absolutely. And
You know,
where I've been working at this particular point is more with myself and moving past a lot of resentments from history and being crystal clear on who it is that I'm dealing with. And so right now, the role that I've been playing is because I'm absolutely crystal clear on who it is that I'm dealing with, I got to check my hat at the door. Because what I'll do is I'll recall some memory from some old shit and be like, oh, see, here we go. You know what I'm saying? So being able to check that part of me at the door and coming from a neutral space of being here to support, to show love the very best that I can within my capacity, but not allowing me extending myself to be taken to, because you'll go fuck around, go down a rabbit hole sometimes with some of the relatives that we have, because like I said, when you try to assist, that assistance is not really respected or appreciated. And so when I'm coming in as a spiritual being with people that don't really have the capacity to see bigger pictures and don't have the capacity to really move past a lot of ingrained mentality and mindsets, they can't really move past that. Like they're so stuck in how it's supposed to be, how they would like for it to be, that they can't allow themselves to connect to what the reality is and move forward in addressing that. So the resistance gets into, this is how you're supposed to show up, and you are rejected as a result of that. And so where I'm at right now is that I understand that that's where they're at, and I can show up and assist where I can. But what I cannot do is allow myself to be overextended in an energy that's not where I'm putting out energy is not appreciated, it's not reciprocated.
Okay, let's go back to the Judgment card then.
Right. And so this is what I was saying. And this is a time of coming clean, assessing the good, the bad, and the ugly, so that I can chart myself from right here with greater clarity and maturity. See, sometimes you can't win them all. And it's not going to go the way that it's supposed to look. See, everybody's family is not going to be connected, holding hands and saying kumbaya. And everybody's not going to look out for each other. And I got that because I was stuck on how it was supposed to be. We're supposed to give a fuck about each other. We're supposed to show up for each other. And we do on smaller levels. You know what I'm saying? And I got to accept that for what it is and meet them right where they're at. And so,
and
this is a task that we got to learn to do with not just our families, because that was one of the greater lessons, but with everyone that's around us, is to be able to recognize that, hey, everybody, you're not going to have this connection, you know, that you would imagine, because if it's not reciprocated, then what's really going on? We get ourselves in these relationships where the energy is not reciprocated. So then on one end, we have one person that's showing up, doing their best, presenting their very best, and somebody that's just going through the motions and doing the bare minimum. And when we start to recognize that this is the exchange that we get, we start shifting the focus on ourselves so that we can do that work on ourselves, so that we can be whole enough to not continue making these connections that's no longer serving us.
But every connection is always serving you. Every connection. And the reason why I'm free and confident in saying that is because every connection is teaching you something. In every situation, you're the student and the teacher, right?
Absolutely.
And so it's like, listen, sometimes your family is just your family because of blood. It's sometimes you could develop a relationship with, your quote unquote soul family.
Right.
You may have never met them, never seen them or whatever, and you have a real family type bond, right?
Right.
So it's just like learning how to play your position in every situation.
Absolutely.
Right? Like
Absolutely.
I have this crazy way of talking with my ancestors, right? And I I just be like, why y'all coming over here giving me this work? You know what I'm saying? And it's funny because sometimes I get frustrated because I'm like, bro, y'all know I don't even like this nigga. Like, I don't want to deal with this nigga. But okay, you got work for me to do. This is what I said I wanted to do. Boom. Let me go lay this. And here's what I have found. This is just me personally. I mean, you're free to try it or whatever. If I don't get direct guidance to go have a conversation with someone that I know takes me to a place I no longer want to be,
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to talk to them.
Absolutely. 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 And that's a lesson that I had to get a couple years back to where I had to make sure that I was being led to do that. The concern that I have now is that because we have been hit with such a tragedy, that we could get into a space where we're so disconnected that this is how we respond.
Mm.
It makes me, well, of course, it makes me sad. But then I said, because like I said, I was going to take this day and not do the cipher so that I can reflect. But what I realized is that I need to come bring this to the table because I'm at a point right now where I need assistance with how I can better navigate.
Listen to spirit. Because I'm
Right.
gonna tell you right now, you taking on a lot that it's not even for you. Like
Yeah.
even everything that I just said with, connecting and breaking the soul ties and stuff, that's not necessarily your job.
Oh,
I'm
I'm
talking
not
about
gonna break
the
no soul ties. Right.
No, I know you are.
Uh,
No. I know. I'm just saying it's like sometimes we, because of the giving nature that we have and wanting to heal,
mhm,
and I'm saying we as in the divine priestess because all of us have a genuineness that I found, right? And
right.
it's like, yo, we really all operate out the heart chakra. You
Mhm,
know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of interesting when you see it play out. But in
mhm.
operating out the heart chakra, you want the highest good of all. And the reality is that's not where everybody is, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
And it hurts.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm
Absolutely.
not even gonna lie to you. I wanted to put the whole world under a spell so they could leave Kanye alone, yo. We know here is the brother that we know mentally disabled, man. I mean, he's come out. He's been admitted in the hospital. This brother needs medication. He needs help, but in the help, we shouldn't just be sticking microphones in his face and then trying to lynch the brother. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Here's my thing is that why can't this man, even if he is mentally, what the fuck is he doing this so bad?
Right. You
If
know what I'm saying?
somebody, we got a problem with people that speak their truth.
Yes, we do. We do. We
And what,
really do.
like,
It's
what the hell
sick.
is the matter with us? And so what we want to do is, right, well, he's mentally ill. And we just go right off everything that he's saying. And everybody, I have
Yeah.
not met one person that does not have some sort of mental illness on one level or the other. We all,
Thank you.
just
It
like we
again.
all catch a cold. We
Yep.
all get sick sometimes. We all stump our toe. People get sugar diabetes, high blood pressure. So this
Yep.
is just another aspect of illness. It just shows up in a different part of the body. But we
Yeah, absolutely.
stigmatize this and make
Yes.
people throwaways because their reasoning and their logic might be just a little bit
Yeah.
distorted
Yeah.
at that
Yeah.
particular time. But Kanye is speaking his truth
Yes.
unapologetically. And that's
Yeah.
making him mentally ill. Now, what's making mentally ill is him talking in circles and loops, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
him speaking truth to power does not make him mentally ill. They're saying that he's
Absolutely.
mentally ill because he's absolutely fearless in that shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, my heart goes out to the brothers. Like seriously, like it's so crazy. Right now, there's a movie out called She Said,
Mm,
right? And I'm bringing this up because When this whole Harvey Weinstein thing first started, they tried to say it was mental illness. I said, nah, man. You don't rape 108 women and then say your brain is broken.
Right.
At some point in there, you know what you are doing is not right. But they blamed it on mental illness and they gave him leniency,
Right.
right?
Right.
But when we looking at brother Kanye, we have this cancel culture. And to me, and this is just me, this goes right back to the Willie Lynch letter. The black woman is always the mother.
Absolutely.
We gave up our son. When Donda died, transition, it was our responsibility to hold that brother in love and light. Now I ain't saying, carry him everywhere you go and all of that. I'm not saying that. But he should have felt the love from us instead of the criticism. When his mom first passed away, people said, oh, Kanye sacrificed his mother. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What is the illness that's striking us? You see what I'm saying? And,
Yeah.
and to me, this goes right back to that judgment card. Like, yo, what we doing?
Right.
Where
Absolutely.
we standing?
And I'm
How
gonna
we standing in such judgment of others?
hey, and listen, I'm gonna tell you one of the things I think the biggest disservice they may have done in the mental health community is getting rid of, in the DSM, they used to have access systems, right? And the access one was about where it was mentally ill, right? And access two was personality disorders, which was about here. Access twos was where that was my jam right there, right? I dealt with a lot of deviant behavior and personality disorder. And it's not necessarily, it's a mental illness because it expresses itself it's a behavioral issue. But the illness is in the heart because you got some spirit shit. And this is why I used to really rock with this whole level of personality disorders, because what Harvey Weinstein had was an antisocial personality disorder where he was using people like they were disposable people, sociopath, you know what I'm saying? Antisocial personality disorder, however you want to call it, it's a spirit thing.
Okay.
And they took that out. They took those categories out from the access one being the mental illness, the access two being personality disorders, and access three being physical health disorders. In the four, it's like your social, you know what I'm saying? Your social connection. You know what I'm saying? And the world around you. It gave you a better perspective on what was going on with people. And that they take shit like that away, and you don't get to really deal with, there's a spiritual component to this shit. What's up, brother Dante? Go ahead, let's hear it, bro.
Yeah, I'm going on mute because I love to listen to Dante. Please, Dante.
Hey, yeah.
Don't do that. Hey, thank you though. But I was just gonna ask, every major city, I feel like seen an influx. I don't know if you've seen it in what city are you in, Cicasian?
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, California, right?
No, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. Okay, I thought you was around the corner somewhere. But I don't know if that's a major city like that, but there's a big like influx of mentally ill people. Like after COVID, it's like slowly building up. I feel like I'm seeing more and more and more. What lets me know that they mentally ill though is that they don't know where the line is between what's in their mind and this reality. So people walking down the streets talking to themselves, or just walking across the street and traffic's coming and all this, I see signs of these people who are mentally ill. Like, it's obvious. I'm trying to understand. I'll give anxiety to Kanye. I'll give him, you have anxiety issues a little bit. I feel like maybe that, but what specifically do you feel like he did or said that makes him mentally ill, except defying logic? Because he's not supposed to say these things in this type of, he's speaking his truth though. So I'm saying, like, but where's the mentally ill part? He's speaking about reality.
Absolutely.
He ain't talking about things that you don't see or talking to a pole. He took the filter off his mouth. Like, do you really feel like I'm trying to understand how you have that
So,
view? Like you mentally ill, Kanye. Is it mentally
um,
ill? Tell a person exactly what you feel.
That's a
no,
collective.
no, no. I don't think that's the mental
I
illness.
mean,
I
what part?
definitely
What part?
believe. No, the part for me that makes him mentally ill is the fact that he was diagnosed as bipolar
Yeah.
before his mom passed away.
Mm.
But
Kanye was
he was
mentally
diagnosed.
ill.
He was diagnosed as that though. He was diagnosed as that, and he even spoke about this in a recent interview. That I guess it was a Jewish doctor. I'm thinking it's the same incident by
Mm.
some Jewish doctor, which he's speaking to that you tried to assassinate his character, and assassinating his character in the media and to the public is what he's speaking on. So they've been doing this, and maybe he felt like keeping his mouth shut all this time until now, just because he didn't want to ruffle no feathers. Like, oh, y'all calling me crazy just for speaking my truth? I'm gonna be
Mm.
quiet about it. Or I know that you guys took my mother out. Like, let's say they took his mom out, and he can't say those exact words.
Right.
That's gonna make you act different, and then like hold
Absolutely.
that in
Absolutely.
as a survival mechanism. You're gonna hold the information in that they killed your mom because he did that to
So
her because
what
they might
about
do it to
everything
you.
that happened before
Now,
his mom? Because this was before his mom passed away. His mom was helping him.
Mm.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying the diagnosis that I'm speaking of, I'm not saying what he's doing
so is
is
there two
caused by
diagnosed?
mental illness. I'm saying that what we are seeing a result of is someone that is mentally imbalanced. I'll say
Absolutely.
imbalanced or
Okay.
mentally, you know what I mean? I'll say that.
Right.
We're seeing actions of someone that is mentally imbalanced.
Like
Um,
which action though? I mean, I'm just trying to really get the gist of like because okay, I see it's prior to his mind. I get that, but nonetheless, someone told you were that. Like I could see a person who likes to have fun all day and not work and say you're crazy.
Right.
You're crazy because it seems that way because it's being illogical. But they
but
may talk to
now,
you
cause
and
see
give you.
now you trying to downplay a whole psychology field, and you can't do that because
Well,
that's two totally
No,
different
I'm
arenas. All I'm
oh, here's
saying is,
right. I was about to say because in a way I can see both points because for some people mental illness is subjective. And
yeah, yeah,
and if all of us that's going through, and this is what my observation has been, because I've worked in the mental health field for many years, and a lot
yeah.
of people they navigate life being
Mm.
undiagnosed, and everybody I feel is one crisis away from
that's
being
it right there.
diagnosed.
That's why it's a surge since COVID.
Right,
Like Dante is
what
so
right
on
with the
point
mental
because
health issue.
everybody was just they were just moving along. Well, what did COVID do? Stop you. You can no longer do your regular routine. What happens to mentally unstable people when they can't do their routine? They have psychotic breaks. That's what it is. Just because you
Yeah.
aren't fit, like just because you didn't go to a doctor and had them say it, don't mean that you ain't diagnosed with it.
At
I
the
mean,
Absolutely.
same time, though,
And
but
that
look, at
don't
the
mean
same
that there's
time, what if just because a doctor said you was a doctor told my friend his baby sister was sick when she was an infant and she just had a cold, is what they said. They trusted the doctor. The doctors have
that's
been
not a
telling us
code. I mean,
diabetes
that's not
runs
an
in your
illness.
huh? No, it
That's not
is,
an
but
illness.
I'm
A
saying the,
cold
the
is
the
an
sister
illness.
died though. The sister died, so she was way sicker. I'm telling you, a doctor can misdiagnose you.
absolutely.
Oh,
And I'm
absolutely,
saying
absolutely. I'm not.
I'm
I'm
not
not putting weight on everything a doctor says, Dante. This is what I'm saying. I'm saying this is me personally. At
mm,
what point do you trust versus go up against? Because you just said, and I gave you your own words.
mm,
You said there's a
yeah,
surge in major cities since COVID, right?
for
So
sure.
if it's a surge in major cities in mental illness, who diagnosed them? Somebody did.
Right.
So
And
I'm so
even
what
if
the
they
people
didn't get diagnosed like physically or verbally, we are seeing psychotic breaks. Just because I didn't go to school and get a degree for it, don't mean that what's happening ain't a psychotic break. That's a mental illness.
No, totally hear what you're saying, and this ain't before I even this. I do want to be understood. I don't like debating stuff. I'm just trying to really understand what actions, because he spoke his mind, but what other actions? Because when I gave the example about the people in the city, you walking in the street, you doing things that let me know you unstable. He's talking shit. Like when a motherfucker, somebody's fucking with you, and they say, I'm tired of this shit. You thought they was quiet. Now they flashing on you. They could come back down and
Okay, no,
chill right
okay, I
there.
get you
So I'm
on that.
saying,
I'm
what
gonna say the
actions?
same thing Shakesha said. His
Uh,
actions are the way he's talking in circles. Kanye is acting like that episode of Dave Chappelle when Rick James said, I ain't do that. Hell yeah, I did it in the same goddamn breath.
Right.
Kanye has done that in
oh, I
multiple
didn't see
interviews.
no. Okay, I didn't see nothing like. That's what I was
Yeah,
trying.
no,
Okay, I
Kanye
didn't
has
see
done
nothing
that
like
in
that.
multiple interviews. Like, and you just be sitting there like, oh, brother, I feel you, but wait a minute. You just said, and I wish I could give you the exact wordage, but I literally sat there and was like, they need to take the microphone away because even though what he's saying is valid, his validity is canceling itself out because he just turned around and argued against his own point.
Yeah, I didn't
And
see
it's
that. I
like,
mean, that's
what are
obvious
you
to me, and now
talking
I see what you're saying. I just never seen fully me. Maybe I
Right.
just
But
didn't
can
see
I?
those interviews. So that's where I was trying to go. Like what? So talking in circles, I definitely say you
Mhm.
tweaking. Like I'm
But
gonna
you know
yeah,
what?
definitely
he's
say that.
talking in
But,
circles.
I
but
just
let's
didn't
let's
see it, so
let's
I
let's
just
let's really deal with that though, because okay, he's talking in circles, right? See, this is
Mhm,
what one of the problem is where we get this disconnect on how it's supposed to be. What is
mhm.
how it's supposed to look. But what one of the things that I used to gauge with working with people is the level of impact, is the level is the level of impact that it has on their functioning in life, right? And so even though Kanye is talking in circles, we see the whole word, the tangential is what we call it, right? The tangential word phrases and all of this, and he's talking in circles. He's speaking his truth. He's not harming anybody, but we don't like the way that it's being delivered. And because we don't like that, let's take the microphone off of him because his circular conversation makes us uncomfortable. And this is the root of the problem of what I was just talking about that happened within my family, where and this is a global thing. That's why I'm saying this is a bigger picture thing, where people become throwaways because we don't like the way they deliver in their message. It ain't comfortable for us. It's going against how it's supposed to look. And if we can release and resist the urge to tell people how they need to show up when they ain't harming nobody at the end of the day. This man speaking his truth. And yeah, he probably is mentally ill, but who the fuck ain't after all of this COVID shit? But he ain't running around psychotic where he threatening to kill folks. He hasn't threatened to do any harm to anybody. And I heard it was one of the elder actresses who told, baby, go home, get you some help. Your kids is watching. And my thing is that's because we set this precedent that you got to show up this way. See, we setting these standards here. And this is where I'm trying to challenge the way we've been going about moving. Because we setting these standards on what our conduct should look like. Because if you be told in my family, you know what I'm saying, I'm going against the grain. And I get a lot of resistance because I decided to step outside of the church and broaden my perspective on spirituality. And you ain't doing it right. And you going to hell for that.
You going to hell. Yeah.
And we got this mentality that this man needs to shut the hell up. He's speaking truth to power. Everything he's saying is truth. Especially, and if it ain't, and even if we don't agree with it, it is his truth.
It's his truth. That part. See, that's why I was like, we need to take the microphone away. Because to your point, he ain't trying to hurt nobody. He ain't telling y'all kids to go join no cult. He ain't trying to get these people to do nothing different. He told his truth, what he seen, his
Right.
experience. None of us could walk that. But at the same
Right. So
time, I
give him
just
the
don't think
goddamn
we should
microphone now.
crucify.
Right.
Exactly.
So
You
he
know?
right. I think we need to hand him the microphone because he get to have a say. Just because he's, you know what I'm saying, speaking in circles, shit. You know what I'm saying? Some days I'm speaking in circles. You know what I'm saying? And so, but just because he's speaking in circles, that don't mean he got to be silent. Shut the fuck up, nigga. We don't like the way you talking. We got to come on now. You know what I'm saying? Your kids is looking at you. We should be able to let people express themselves no matter how they feel.
I agree with you, but I'm gonna tell you honestly, from the 1950s, superstars, quote unquote, have set the precedent. And I think that is the only reason Kanye is in this circle jerk. It's because superstars have set the precedent since Audrey Hepburn and them.
Absolutely.
If Kanye was me and like Dante can be on the street right now and say, "Hey man, the Jews is coming for us." Nobody's listening, Joe, and nobody's taking his microphone away. The problem is, and this is just my personal opinion, Kanye is speaking his truth, but he's also speaking the truth that America has tried to hide for so long that they don't want people going to research it.
No.
I personally have no problem with what the brother said because I've done my own research on it. And I was like, damn, he hit that thing. Damn it, Kanye, why you go there? Like I've had I've been emotional with this thing.
The shit wasn't new news to me. Minister
Exactly.
been talking this shit for years.
Say it again.
He wrote a book called The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews. There's a DVD.
Yep, I read it.
Even if you don't want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? These brothers is real research. They ain't playing a bullshitting game like, oh, I came up with this. Or I'm gonna just pull some shit out. You know what I'm saying? On the strength of, hey, this ain't new news to people. You know what I'm saying? This ain't nothing new within our community. But see, this is what I'm trying to say is that how we've been going about what the public persona looks like. We get ourselves into this thing. Now, right now, we got this go along to get along type of mentality.
You
can't say shit. You know what I'm saying? And now they telling us how we got to show up. We don't like that.
Tell me that ain't mental illness. That's mental illness. I don't care what nobody says on a grand scale. Because you can't even tell the truth no more. Ma'am, you cannot be a sir because your DNA is still going to say you're a man.
Listen,
oh, don't you say that.
If a man can wear a motherfucking dress and a woman can shave her head off and decide that she's a guy, then why the fuck can't he show up and speak in circles?
Exactly.
See,
but I agree with that.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. Like, don't we get to live the life that we want? We get to show up the way that we want to. But like I said, see, we don't like what he's saying. We don't like how it's done. Well, then turn the you don't have to deal with that. But what you're saying is very true, priestess. It's a suppression of the truth. They don't want people to find, but it's too late. We have opened Pandora's box with this advent called social media. We're too connected. We can link up with the brothers on the other side of the world. And now everybody's being held accountable because we got these devices we carry around that will take your picture in HD. The revolution is televised, my friends.
Say it again. All right.
Hello.
Hey, that's it right there.
It is televised. But this is what I'm trying to say. And so with this whole judgment card, and for us to really look at and reflect and really start tapping to our inner calling, we got to break away from this mainstream, what we supposed to look like, because we already kind of breaking away. Most of us, especially in the African diaspora, where was brought over to this particular country and was taught that a savior looked like the nigga that got his foot in our ass. You know what I'm saying? That's what the teaching is for us. And we accepted that, even if it feels wrong. And when you deviate from this path, you wrong for doing that, because this is the way it's supposed to look. You doing it wrong. You got life fucked up. You going to hell. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever in the hell. Or you know what I'm saying? And Kanye, you talking like you crazy. And your kids see you talking like you crazy. He ain't allowed to be passionate in his speech, huh? Right. He ain't allowed to. You know, Mars is in Gemini. He ain't allowed to be passionate in his speech. He ain't allowed to feel what he's saying. You know what I'm saying? He ain't allowed to fucking express himself, because it looked crazy. We got to pretend that we don't give a fuck. We got to disconnect from who we are in essence, so that we can show up in the form that's acceptable to everybody else. We better, you know what I'm saying? This something to think about.
If you on to something with that, we all might need to take a step. We might need another COVID. We gotta go sit back down for a minute.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm just saying something to think about. You know what I'm saying? So you know, like I said,
because how do you take the world back from where it is, right?
Right.
Because like I was telling my son the other day, the youngest one, I'm like, yo, y'all bugging nowadays, right? He said, y'all raised us, and I kind of had to sit there with that smack in the face. I'm like, yeah, we all sitting there talking about people bugging this and that. We raised these little fuckers. And I was like, that's real though. You know what I mean? So we pointing the finger with the 3 fingers pointing back at us. Now what?
Right. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? The people that like my mom's age and stuff, she be cracking me up. Oh, that Kanye do this and do that. I'm telling you, I hear Kanye name every day. I be like, y'all raised us. Right. Kanye like 3 years older than me, and like that's your group.
Right.
So if Dante ain't get it right, then none of the rest of y'all did either.
Well, here's the thing. You know what? What does right look like?
Exactly.
And that's, you know what I'm saying?
Because everybody's raising somebody different.
Right. Because look, they beating the hell out of Dave Chappelle right now.
Come on now.
For merely trying to bring some clarity to a fucking situation. Yeah. And get a broader perspective, and he get his ass kicked for that, because he ain't showing up in the form
we want him to.
Right. We got to stop.
You're only supposed to stay in these lines right here. You can't go outside these lines. There's no curves. It's a straight line.
Was exactly. This is what our bigger problem is right here, is that we hold these expectations, and hindsight is 2020. You know, hindsight is 2020. Like we gotta stop. We gotta stop coloring in the lines, because we've been taught that this is. We don't realize everything we've been taught has been a goddamn lie.
Everything.
It's time for us to unplug ourselves from this matrix and really start being discerning. And this is why people like you, me, Brother Dante, and Aquarius Moon is out here in these streets, and the rest of the family that show up in the soul group is out here in these streets, trying to get people, working to get people to really expand. To
Much
do
love.
right. Love. To shift, because we you know what I'm saying? Because if we keep going in this direction where we got to stay so rigid and keep following this old program, we got, you know what I'm saying? That's old world shit. We trying to build a new world right now. And how we go build a new world if we rejecting every goddamn body that's speaking truth? What kind of new world are we building? Are we building a whole nother version of the old world? We go back into the Pisces, where you better just believe what the fuck I told you and shut the hell up. This is the way it goes down. You don't get no truth. We disapprove of how you show up. Fall in line. This world is changing, and they better get ready for that shit. A revolution is out here in these streets, y'all. But I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up, because that's our time. Thank you all, family, so much for coming in here.
All right, y'all.
Yes. Does anybody have anything to close it out with before I close the door?
No, I just say love and light to all. I love y'all. Thank y'all.
One love.
One love. I love you all. Thank you for bringing your light, your energy, your perspective. You guys out here in these streets, thank you so much for helping me get a little bit of clarity, because a sister was struggling in these streets. And I appreciate and love you guys so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you for this build. Y'all so powerful. Hey, we ain't gonna have no cipher on the holiday, because we gonna do the family thing, whatever. But
yeah, we gonna have some shit to talk about the next week after we go.
But the following week we'll see you then. Hey, I got the world card. I got the world card. So you know what I'm saying? We'll talk about it. The world is all about fulfillment, harmony, integration, travel, unity. It's also, on the downside, incompletion, shortcuts, falling short, delays, and emptiness. So we can look at that on all levels. But after the holiday, let's build. Peace, y'all. Thank you so much. I love you all. Peace and light. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, had to throw some Nas in. Peace. QB on my chest, master stainless. Amazing grace, I'm gracefully aging. Without masonry, I made